Today's Sunday, October 19th, and this is News from the Frunk, Episode 6. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of News from the Frunk. What a week. Down here in Florida, I've been hearing the gnashing and wailing coming from owners across the US and across the world of recent Model S purchasers who have missed out on the D and some of the autopilot features. They are not a happy bunch. There's even been a poll to try and get Tesla to retrofit all the features. I really don't think that's going to happen. But likewise, there's been a chorus echoing across the internet of potential Model S owners and future owners cheering about the new features and looking forward to getting the D. I've made a decision that I'm going to stick with my P85. The upgrade cost from this to the P85D is a little too steep, so I'm going to wait out and see what the future holds. I'm sure at some point we'll get a new bigger battery and various other options. So I'm perfectly happy with what I've got now, but I look forward to getting a ride in the new P85D when it hits the streets sometime in December. And in one additional piece of news, some owners have reported, or some prospective owners have reported, that although Elon said the standard versions of the D wouldn't be shipping until February, some owners have now got January delivery dates. In European news, Tesla Motors Europe announced on Thursday that the fleet of taxis at Schipol Airport in the Netherlands have been replaced. I think they had Mercedes cars before. They have been replaced by Model S. So there are now 167 Tesla Model S taxis operating out of Schipol. I'm not planning to go over there probably in the next 3 months or so, but sometime early in the new year I'll be getting over there on a business trip, so I will definitely check them out. In Gigafactory news, the Las Vegas Review-Journal has reported that the State Transportation Board in Nevada has approved $70 million worth of funding to extend State Highway 439, also known as USA Parkway. This is the main feeder road into the Gigafactory area and is really required to get all that equipment in and out and for future use of the factory. It's still 80 degrees here in Florida in the middle of October, but there have already been snow flurries in Chicago, and I'm sure it's getting pretty cold in Northern Europe too. There's a lot of Model S owners who got their cars this summer and have never been through a winter. Now, the Model S, turns out, is a fantastic winter car, despite the original variant only being two-wheel drive. There are loads of videos on the internet, and I'll post a link to a YouTube channel from a guy called Bjørn Nyland, who lives in Norway. He has taken his Model S all over Norway in all kinds of weather conditions, and he's got some great winter driving videos that just show quite how capable the Model S is. The German auto magazine Auto Bild recently ran a story where they did a comparison of winter driving across a number of different electric cars, and unsurprisingly, the Model S came out on top. Link down below. As a new Model S owner, you might notice something different happening now that the cold weather is here. You may notice one or two dashed yellow lines appearing in the speedo, one at the top of the power display and one down in the Regen area. Now, in most cases, with one exception, those dashed yellow lines are caused by temperature in the battery. The battery pack has an ideal operating range, and it doesn't like going above or below that range. If it goes above, which it will do if you accelerate very hard repeatedly in the car, the battery gets too hot. So in that case, the car starts to limit the amount of power so the battery gets a chance to cool down. In cold weather, the battery is too cold, and so it will limit the amount of power that you can take out of the battery. It will also limit the amount of power that you can put into the battery so that you don't damage those cells. So if you get into the car in the morning and the car is cold, you may well see one or both dashed yellow lines. The simplest way to avoid that is use the timer function on charging so that the car stops charging just before you're ready to leave. That will mean that the charging activity has put heat into the battery and it should be well within its operating range and you can drive perfectly normally. The one exception to the temperature causing the dash yellow lines is when the battery is full. In that situation, regen is disabled because there's nowhere for the energy to go into the battery. If you drive normally for a few miles, you'll see that that dashed yellow line gradually reduces and then disappears, and regen will work perfectly normally. Be careful because it can catch some people out when you think you've got regen and you don't. I describe these dashed yellow line scenarios in chapter 10 of my book, along with a lot of other driving tips. So if you get a chance, grab a copy, and that will explain everything that's going on. Now, time for a quick tip.
Once again, this is my P85 2012. Right at the very end of 2012, I have the performance leather seats. And one thing that a lot of people fail to spot, because it's kind of hidden away, is that there is this little pocket on the front of the seat, which is great for sticking in a plug share card, or if you've got a gate opener or something you want to put in there. And there's only one on the driver's seat, there's nothing on the passenger seat, but if you don't look for it, you wouldn't know it was there. So everybody complains there's not enough storage space in the Model S. Well, there you go. If you've got the actually, I know it's on the performance seats. I think it's on all the leather seats. So if you haven't spotted that one, go out and check it out.
In Supercharger news, thanks to Dean Thorson over on Facebook, who spotted that the European Supercharger map now goes out to 2016, and that the dots have expanded into Russia, into the Ukraine, and down into Turkey. And in fact, I had a quick count up, and there are over 250 European Superchargers on that 2016 map. In other Supercharger news, checking out supercharge.info, we've had 5 new Superchargers open up in the last week. They are in Cordes Lakes in Arizona, Topeka, Kansas, Beckenried in Switzerland, 2 in London. Also, construction has started on a number of other superchargers at Rancho Cucamonga in California, Ghent in Belgium, West Hartford, Connecticut, Hirschberg in Germany, Orlando, Florida at the Turkey Lake Service Plaza. That's the one I'm looking forward to using. Prim in Nevada, and Grong in Norway. Finally, wrapping up episode 6, a quick update on the stock. Another tough week for Tesla stock, down 4% since last episode. Well, thank you for watching. I hope it's been informative once again. I'll be recording episode 7 sometime later on this week. If you have any comments, please post them down below. Likewise with any suggestions. And I look forward to speaking to you on the next episode of News from the Frunk. If you'd like to learn more about Tesla and their amazing car, my book, Owning Model S, The Definitive Guide to Buying and Owning the Tesla Model S, is available online. Link down below.